Check, check. And action. Hey now, this is the Mileage Bully, and you are now tuned in to the Retro Philosophy Show. Like, share, and subscribe. Cause what else you doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this your man Kodak, the most hated, coming to you live from the Retro Philosophy Show, where I always listen to my man, 50 Grand, past the Retro. You know what it is.
Whoa, there's something on my mind. Won't somebody please tell me what's wrong? Whoa, there's something on my mind. Won't somebody please tell me what's wrong? Whoa, there's something on my mind. Won't somebody please tell me what's wrong?
Gotta find the Retro Philosophy Show. Let's get ready to go live. Can't miss an episode.
You already know what it is. It's your homegirl, Lottie, Dottie. I'm in the building hanging out with Retro, and he ain't never lied.
Yo, what's up, everybody, including Lottie Dottie? You already know what it is. It's your boy Retro with you on today. And this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Let's make some noise for Jesus. Yeah, let's make some noise for the Lord Jesus Christ, because it is he who woke us up this morning and started us on our way. And if it had not been for the Lord who was on my side, where would I be? I want to talk to you guys just for a few minutes talking about the power of information. What do you do with it? What do you do with it? You know, we live in a day now where even the Bible speaks of it. He talked about in the Bible, New Testament scripture written by the Apostle Paul. I believe he was writing to Timothy, a young preacher. And he says that they shall increase with knowledge. Knowledge shall increase, you know. And so knowledge, information, knowledge, pretty much the same thing. Okay, well, hold on, wait a minute. Information is one thing. It does not become knowledge until you retain it. I think I can say it that way. Maybe someone a little smarter than me might define it a little differently. So if you are watching and you would like to chime in, please do so. You might be watching the replay, didn't get a chance to catch us live. Go ahead and in the comment section, what is the difference between knowledge and information? I think some of us would look at it as being the same thing, if you will. But for me, knowledge is a little further. It takes a little further than just information. Information is is facts. It's just that it's information. You are now informed. But if you don't receive it, it's not knowledge. So anyway, that's my take on it. However, information becomes knowledge. Knowledge becomes wisdom only when the information that you receive that is now knowledge has been applied correctly. And that's a beautiful thing right there, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to me, man. You know, we often say that common sense ain't so common nowadays. And it is not because the information is not there. I heard somebody say, if you want to hide it from our folk, put it in a book. I'll leave that alone. However, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie. Let me check something here. Okay, that's that. And I'm gonna do that right there, and I think that'll be a little bit better. So, knowledge or information is there, but if you do not desire information, then you will never seek it. The Bible talks about wisdom and how wisdom cries in the chief concourse places. It is not something that's hid. If you don't have it, you can ask God for it, according to the book of James, I believe it was. If any man lack wisdom, to let him ask of God, because he gives to every man liberally, and he upbraideth not. God is not stingy. We have not, because in other words, we ain't got it because we don't ask for it. And the reason why we don't ask for certain things is because we don't value those things. Most of the time folk get that big old tax return. They go get some shrimp, some crab legs, and a big screen TV. And they have a bigger investment in their clothing, sneakers, and cars than they do their education, their family, their loved ones, their future. I'll leave that alone. I digress. But what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, what is it? Not saying, maybe I'm asking, what is it that you value? People say one thing with their lips. They say one thing with their mouths, but they do a complete different thing in action. And they say they value you, but they treat you like a second-class redhead stepchild. They say they love you. They say they honor you, but they do it silently. We had a brief conversation yesterday about the ugliness of people talking about people. And the question has always been, why is it that my enemy, and I use that very loosely, because if you see yourself as your enemy, I'm here to let you know that I'm your boss. I should have had my boss hat. I wore it yesterday. It's downstairs. BOSS, I'm a boss. Are you a boss? You ought to be, and if not, you ought to start looking at yourself a little differently, because you are a boss. Anyway, my enemies, I don't claim enemies. Enemies claim to be my enemy. And if you claim to be my enemy, I'm serving you notice that I am your boss and you work for me. Yeah. He prepares a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Any enemies that I have, I promise you, they had the opportunity for reconciliation. They had the opportunity for forgiveness both ways, but they chose something else because, see, people who choose that, they're miserable. Some people don't want things to be fixed because they want something to gripe about, complain about, and point the finger at. The Bible says if you think your brother has an ought with you, what is an ought? It's nothing. It's on you. Even if they've done something, they may not know. They may not realize it. But we don't want to go and confront them. We don't want to go and have the conversation, because if we have the conversation, you know what's going to happen? Out of that conversation is going to come information. And now you are now responsible for the information that you have gone to seek. Let's just say that you got a problem with retro, okay? And you say, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to him. I'm going to go let him know how I feel. And you come to me and you tell me your problem, and I begin to inform you or begin to offer you more insight, more information. Now the ball's in your court. And this is what a lot of people do not want. They do not want things to be fixed. They are more comfortable with enemies than they are friends. Because if you are going to be a friend to an individual, it's going to take work. It's going to cost you. Yes, sir. If you are a true friend, it's easier to be my enemy than it is to be my friend. For the weak individual. No, period. I stand on that. 10 toes down. I stand on that. See, to be an enemy to someone, there are no rules. You can do whatever comes to your little grimy heart and just, hey, they my enemy. But a friend you owe a responsibility to. A friend you owe an allegiance to, an alliance to. A friend you owe support to. And so sometimes to be a friend is hard work. And that's why So many people are turning their backs on you because you are expensive. You are costly. You are precious. Matter of fact, you're priceless. And it is not that you are a bad person, but they couldn't afford you any longer, because to be in your presence meant that they had to come up a little bit higher. You see, what fellowship does dark and lightness have? One has got to conquer the other. One is going to overpower the other. And if you are light and you're walking in the light and someone has darkness in them, two things are going to happen. The darkness in them will flee, or they will flee. Okay. We just want to talk a little bit about information and what do we do with it. There's information everywhere you turn. Now, here's the deal you got to understand. Not all information is good information. Not all information is accurate information. Not all information is true. And so here's one thing that my mama told me a whole lot of moons ago, many of them. She said, baby, you've got to consider the source. Someone comes to you and tells you this, that, or the other. You must consider the source. Okay. Not only do you have to consider the source, how integral is this person? How honest is this person? How, and so you have to consider the source, because messy people usually see messy angles. I don't know who I'm preaching to, but if it's you, just say amen. Yeah. So consider the source. Okay. Now, you got somebody who ain't never had no friends and now they're coming to you to tell you something about your friend. Consider the source. They wouldn't know a ride or die if they got ran over by a ride or die. They couldn't identify one to save their life because they've never handled one. Come on now. Consider the source. Not only do you have to consider the source, which is the individual, you've got to consider their motives. Listen to me. I ain't going to be much longer. I got a few announcements and then I'm out your way. The motive must be taken into consideration, because everybody has one. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody has a motive. You can miss me with all that holier than thou, super, miss me with that. Let me put it to you like this. If you rock with me and you don't have an agenda, something's wrong. You should never do something for nothing. I'm giving God the praise because I want to honor him. I'm not just blessing the Lord just to bless the Lord. No, I'm blessing the Lord because it's my responsibility. It's my assignment. I'm doing it for a reason. Oh, I just wanted to see what you was up to. No. You're seeking some information. Nobody does anything just to do it. I don't care what nobody says. And so you need people around you that are intentional. Now, sometimes their motive gets a little overbearing or out of alignment or, off balance or whatever you want to look at it as. And that has to be discussed. It has to be addressed. I don't have a problem with you having an agenda, but just don't let your agenda, compromise my mission. Don't allow your agenda to compromise our friendship, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. See, we got it all twisted. We're getting mad at people because they have an agenda. They have an angle. They have a direction that, and you should too. I told my kids this all the time. In life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you negotiate. So everybody should be negotiating life in some shape, form, or fashion. Information, ladies and gentlemen. What do we do with it? The power of information. Now, check this out. You have an individual and a brand new Ford Mustang 5.0, right? Or Viper, whatever. You put your muscle car in the blank, okay? Very fast, very powerful car, okay? And you put them on the line with another individual in a car that's not nearly as fast. Okay, so I guess horses to horses, power to power. Car A outranks car B. Okay. However, the person in car B is a more superior driver. So you got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, it's not always in the level of power that you have or the access of power that you have, as it is sometimes the ability to know how to maneuver and how to be effective with what you have. Some people have more power, but they don't have as much reach. Some people have more money, but they don't have as much financial wisdom. And the Bible speaks about a fool and his money shall soon part. So what we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that there is power in information, but it's only as powerful as you know how to use it. Some people get information that's powerful and it backfires on them because they use that information and allow, or maybe I should say it this way, they allow that information to motivate them the wrong way. You just found out about so-and-so who you don't like, and you found out that they done did this, that, and the other, and now you got to go tell it because this is powerful information. I'm going to go expose them. I'm going to go, and you go to try to throw them underneath the bus, and it backfires on you. Because here's the deal. Sometime God will inform us of situations that we are now required to intercede and undertake for. And so that's why it's so important to get your mind, Get your mind right. You got to let me make it all inclusive. We must get our minds right, okay? Because otherwise, we'll take good information that can be extremely powerful, and it'll backfire against us. What do you do with information? Here's a few things I wanna share with you as it relates to information. Fact check it. Yeah, you know, everything you hear, you shouldn't run with for several reasons. But before you go and make a rash decision, consider the source, consider their motive, and consider the validity of this information that you have just been armed with. I had an individual to call me one day, and they said, Retro, you need to know what's going on. It's a Retro. I just got off of a call, and they're saying this, and they're saying that, and they're saying this, and they're saying that. And I told them it ain't like that. The individual, number one, was not the kind of person that would sit there and let somebody bash someone that they thought well of. Okay. And so they set them straight first and foremost. And the individual didn't like that. See, that's how you can stop a lot of foolishness. You just set them straight initially, right off the back, right out the gate. You just set them straight. And so now I'm listening to this, and I believe it to be true because I have an understanding of the situation in this individual, and I understood their motive, why they would do such a thing and say such a thing. But they were giving me this information, and I listened. And then I says, okay, what do you want me to do with this? Are you telling me this just so I will be informed? Or, and the individual say, look, I'm going to send you the receipts and you do with it what you please. And you tell them that I told you that they said it. See, they don't make them like that anymore because some people, they just, they take the information and it could be all jacked up and false and wrong and then they'll join in but here's the deal. It's one thing for the so-called enemy or the hater or the confused admirer. Let's do that. Let's not even give them the dignity and the power of categorizing them as a hater. They are a confused individual. Okay? It's one thing for them to talk about me. It's one thing for them to talk about you. But why are they so comfortable talking about me to you? And why is that you are joining in with the foolishness? It is not the confused admirer that's the problem as much it is you. I expect that from them, but you? Nah. Okay, let me move on because good morning, C1s, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts. Let's make some noise for the one and only C1s in the building, Mayor of Wilson, North Kakalaki. Yeah. So information. What do we do with it? We've got to be careful because information, as powerful as it can be, will not be effective if we don't have the right heart and the right mindset. See, power is a good thing, but not everybody knows how to effectively use the power at their disposal. So information, you got to fact check it. You got to make sure that you don't run with it prematurely. You see, some stuff is for you and you alone, and some stuff is for a season. And God can reveal things to you in this season for the next season. He did it for Joseph. Okay, Joseph interpreted the dream that Pharaoh had, and he gave him the information in one season that would benefit them in another season. So during the season where things was plentiful, Joseph had to exercise and exemplify wisdom and understanding. See, some people can apply information at the right time, but not have an understanding as to why this is the right time to apply this information. They kind of just stumbled across it and they look wise, but they have no wisdom. It's easy to repeat a wise saying and look wise, but not have any wisdom. You're only right twice a day. You have no consistent track record. Come on, somebody. You understand what I'm saying? And so be very careful that you are not disregarding very powerful and important information in this season because everything looks good for you. Next season, there's going to be a drought. Come on now. You had all summer to deal with and do what you had to do. But you lallygagged, you procrastinated, and you didn't take things serious because you had a bag. But you didn't realize that the winter was coming in. It was going to be a harsh winter. And now, instead of having a little extra, see them crab legs is gone now. Them shrimp is gone now. That big screen TV broke now. They don't even show no good. Don't even show good no more. And you ain't got nothing to sustain you during this harsh season that you had no idea it would come. Had you paid attention to the signs. You see, when you are going through a work zone, you should look for the signs. Come on, somebody. In other words, some signs we don't see because we didn't realize the zone that we were in. When you get in certain zones, when I'm riding my motorcycle, okay, and I'm on a country road, I like to find me a country road from time to time. Let's say good morning to Natalie James in the building. I love to find me a nice country road, and I just get out there in my zone, and I'm just riding, enjoying, life and stuff. But here's something that I do, Yeah, I smell that. What does it smell like? It's grass. You can smell it before you see it. And now that I smell grass, I understand, and I know this from information that I've received. I also know this from experience that I've literally walked through and walked out. So now all of a sudden, because I smell grass, now I begin to look for the grass. Now, if you're not a motorcyclist, you might not understand this. So let me try to give you a little bit of insight. If you're riding your motorcycle down a curvy country road and you're leaned into that curve and you go across a patch of grass that's spread across the road, it will make your tires slip out from underneath you. It can get very sketchy. Okay, and it irks me when I see people mowing their grass and they're just blowing it out in the streets, and they got all that field they could have blew it back into. But anyway, what I do when I smell grass, I understand that I need to now look for it. I'm looking down the road because I smell it. It's coming. And sure enough, one time I was coming down this curvy road that I ride pretty frequently, and I smelled that grass. I said, And so what I did was I instantly became a little bit more alert, because I knew at any moment around that curve could be grass all over the road. And sure enough, there it was. So I had already slowed down enough that I was able to straighten up. and because I don't want to go over in the lean, so I straightened up. That's a word. Somebody need to straighten up. You need to straighten up. Smell the grass and straighten up. I might preach that tomorrow or Sunday. I don't know. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie, Dottie, certain information or some information should cause you to begin to look for the signs. There have been situations where people have been taken, okay? And I remember I was watching this movie and an individual had been kidnapped and ransom was required or requested, okay? You know what they said? They said, give us proof of life. Give us proof of life. I'm not giving you nothing until I know my loved one is still alive. And so there is some information that we receive. We ought to look for proof of life. Is what they say, is this that they are saying, does it have any life to it? Will it bring life, or will this only destroy? I'm scrolling down my timeline and some stuff I just keep going because I don't need that information in my spirit because it's bad. Some stuff might trigger you. And if you don't know your triggers, then you're in the danger zone. You got to know your triggers. Some stuff you just, and it's not that it's bad in and of itself, but sometimes you reach your limit and enough is enough. Okay, we got to move on now. I got work to do. I can't be consumed with this. So look for proof of life, ladies and gentlemen. Look for proof of life. Some people are telling you stuff and feeding you information, and all it's doing is damning you. All it's doing is killing you. All it's doing is draining you. It's like a oversized parasite on your jugular. I don't know. So what do we do with information? It's everywhere, especially in this social media world, this internet world now that we live in now. At the click of a mouse, you've got all this information. But you are no more powerful than your ability to utilize it correctly. You are no more powerful than your ability, ladies and gentlemen, to process it properly. Again, you may have more, but I can do more with my less than you can with your more. So don't just gather stuff to say I got it, but gather what you're gathering. Know what you're doing with what you're gathering. Know how to use it. And if you don't, guess what? Get the information. Now that information becomes knowledge, and knowledge becomes wisdom. So what I'm saying is you can't stop with the information. Okay? You got to now process the information. Understand what you have just collected. Because if you don't understand it, then you can't utilize it as effectively as you could if you would take the time to understand it. I'm gonna give you a story, then I'm gonna get out of your way. True story. I grew up in a smaller church, small to medium church back home. It was a pretty strict church, and that's neither here nor there. I came into the church in my late teens, and when I came into the church, I was serious about my conversion. I was serious about this new walk that I was on. If you know me, I'm a pretty jovial person, but anything I'm in, and I'm serious about everything that I participate in. You might see me laughing and smiling, but if I'm a part of it, then I'm just that. I'm a part of it. And so I'm in the church now, my late teens, and I'm giving it my all. And I'm hearing these scriptures, and I'm hearing these rules and these regulations, and I don't have a problem with the rules. I don't have a problem with the scripture. My problem was a lack of understanding of said rules. And so I began to ask questions, not to question leadership, not to question, the church, not to question anything other than to get a better understanding. Because I'm the kind of person, if I don't understand, I can't go forward. Because I don't want to make a fool of myself and then, embarrass you or so I'm going to ask questions. Now, once I get the information, and now I know my place, my position, my role, whatever the case may be, now I can get to work and do what I got to do for you, for us, whatever the case may be. But the more questions I begin to ask, the more of a problem it became for me. I was looked at as, at least I felt like I was looked at as a troublemaker. I was asking questions that other folk wasn't asking, and it's. I think it's supposed to be a dialogue and not a monologue, but anyway. See, I didn't have enough sense. My daddy raised me, and my daddy raised me telling me this: the dumbest question, son, is a question not asked. And so, naturally, I regurgitated that to my kids growing up. And I never forget the day that my son, as a preteen, I believe it was, questioned me. And I'm looking at this little joker, but then I realized he was doing exactly what I raised him to do. He wasn't challenging me. He was challenging himself. He needed, look, Pop, if I got to do this, I mean, it's not that I don't want to do it. It's not that I ain't going to do it, but why am I doing it? And you ought to raise your children, specifically your young men, not to be afraid to ask questions. Because if they're not afraid to ask questions, they won't be afraid of questions. If your leadership cannot be questioned, then your leadership is questionable, period, point blank, end of story. Mic drop right there. And so I was asking questions. Yes, I should have had a yellow hat, because call me Curious George, you know what I mean? But again, my questions were not to challenge my pastor. It wasn't to disrupt the church or the flow. I was asking these questions because the information that was being given to me was foreign to me. And I needed the information to become knowledge, and information cannot become knowledge if you don't understand it. Information that you don't understand can just be a pain in your side. It could be your nemesis. It could, and so, by golly, ask the questions. And please understand, if you're being asked the questions, that doesn't mean you have to have the answer to every question that's asked. Sometimes you've got to have the integrity to say, I don't know, that's a good question. If I had to guess, I'd say such and such. It's okay to say that. So yeah. Information is powerful. Knowledge is power. You see what you see here? You see where we're going with this thing? Information is powerful. Knowledge is power. Knowledge extracts the power that could be out of the information and makes it come to pass. Okay, and then there's wisdom. Wisdom is the effectiveness. In other words, I don't have to utilize all of this power. If I do it right, all I got to do is just hit it just a little bit, and we gonna be Gucci. Come on, somebody. I wish I had a witness in the building. Did my phone just die? I think it did. By golly, it did. So I'm going to leave you alone. I'm going to do something the devil won't do, and I'm going to leave you alone. But before I do, ladies and gentlemen, I want to share some, you guessed it, I want to share some information with you. Okay, so we got a few things going on, guys, and we want to talk to you guys about it. Yes, sir. So as you know, real talk, Natalie, real talk. Amen. Amen. As you know, we have been doing this here Mission 448, and we have been having ourselves a ball. As a matter of fact, I'll be on the road again tomorrow to deliver some patches to some of the folks who have completed the journey for this portion of their ride, and or for that particular state. If you have not already registered, you can certainly do so. You can click the link here on my YouTube channel, or you can go to the Facebook page, Mission 448. As you can see on the screen, the word mission, the number 4, the word 40, and the number 8, Mission 448. And join the group, join the page, and the link for the registration is there. Registration for each of the lower 48 states are available. And we are certainly encouraging you to get out and ride the four corners of your state. This time of year, it's getting a little colder, but it's still some good riding, okay? And guess what? You're not going any further than your home state. So it's not like you're going all the way across country. You can take you a couple days, depending on which state you're riding in, and knock out the four corners of your state. Keep your fluids and everything turning throughout the winter. You don't have to put it in storage. You don't have to, park it, never to look at it again until the 4th of July or anything like that. You can just, get out there and ride the four corners of your state. Shout out to all those who have been supporting the movement. We certainly do appreciate it, and it speaks volumes. It really does. And I just want you to know that we are certainly appreciative of the kindness that you guys have been showing. I think that to date, I think everyone who has done it has enjoyed the ride, and because I tell you, I've done several states, and I'll be doing more, of course, because I'm after each of the 48 states. Okay, when it's all said and done, and I don't know, some of you guys may do it first, because some of y'all out there knocking them out, man. Some have multiple states that they've already completed. And so we will be doing Alabama as a group. We've got several people who are interested in doing that one with us. So currently we are planning on doing that one in mid-March of 2026. We will have the official date out here soon, along with the flyer and other information that's pertinent for the ride. So if you would like to join us for the Four Corners of Alabama, make sure you let me know, and we will send you the link for all of the information that you'll need to know. So it's been great, and again, we appreciate everybody for everything that you are doing as a part of this journey that we're doing. Do not fall apart. Don't fall apart. Okay. This is Gift Women's Fellowship. They present Don't Fall Apart. This all goes down on the 29th of November, starts at 2 p.m. and it all goes down at Upper Praise Ministries, 442 Westmore Avenue in Mooresville, North Carolina. Shout out to my beautiful wife, First Lady Shelly McIver, and the other guests that she will have with her. Tamara, we have I can't remember her first name. We call her Pooh. Please forgive me, woman of God. But she will also be one of the speakers, along with Sharnetta and Laura. There we go, Laura. So we have Lady Laura, Lady Tamara, and Lady Sharnetta, as well as my beautiful wife. So make sure you guys put that on your calendar, make it a date, and don't be late. Join in this festivity with these beautiful women of God. They get together, man, and they have themselves a great time. And again, this all happens at Upper Praise Ministries, 442 Westmore Avenue in Mooresville, North Carolina. Don't fall apart. A lot of people and a lot of things are falling apart, but you got to keep your hand in the master's hand, and you got to refuse to let go. I don't know about you guys, but I ain't going to let go. I'm going to hold to his hand. Yes, sir. God's unchanging hand. Hold. Okay, let me stop. But I'm going to hold to his hand. Straight Talk, ladies and gentlemen, the podcast. We aired our very first episode on Tuesday at 8 p.m. And so we are excited about the direction of this new podcast, Straight Talk, the podcast with Retro, Pastor Edie and Pastor Kelvin Jones, and we had ourselves a great conversation. We are already looking forward to the next conversation that we will have, and that date is to be announced. We have some other guests that will be joining us for the conversation, and it's going to be exciting. This Straight Talk, the podcast, we're going to talk about quite a few things, and we're going straight to the point. No sugarcoating, no beating around the bush. Sometimes we hold back because we don't want to offend anybody, and we don't want anybody to get in their feelings. But to know me is to love me, and sometimes people think that because they don't know you, and so sometimes we just have to get straight to the point and just say what we got to say and let the chips fall where they may. As long as your intentions are not malicious, you should be able to discuss anything you want to discuss. Yeah. Now, I don't believe in being malicious or things of that nature. But I also feel it's important that we don't hold back. So, hence, Straight Talk, the podcast. All right. There's a lot of stuff. There's one guy, he's got his catchphrase is things the black church is going to hate me for saying. But just because you hate me for saying it doesn't mean it didn't have to be said. Now, how it's said. Now that's where, that's where the godliness comes in, the wisdom, So you should be able to say anything, but how you say it is what's important. So this podcast will be an environment where we will be concerned about how people may or may not receive it. But we're not going to allow that to stop us from saying what needs to be said. We're just going to say it, and we're going to say it in love, the way the Lord would want it to be done. Okay. So we ask that you would continue to tune in and join the conversation every time we go live. Currently, right now, we're talking about maybe once a month, and that may change because I got a phone call yesterday. Very, very great conversation surrounding the podcast, and so. As people reach out, we will incorporate and include them in future episodes. So if you're watching and you would like to be a part of Straight Talk, the podcast, make sure you reach out to us and let us know, okay? Just want to share this information with you guys so that way you can govern yourselves. How? Govern yourselves accordingly. A few more things that we're going to get out of your way, man. What's love? Marriage enrichment sessions is something that we've been doing for a while. We do have a group here on Facebook called What's Love, and but we have finally got to the point that we wanted to do something in person, and so we've done sessions 1, 2, and 3, and we are gearing up for session 4. This is not a marriage counseling session per se. It's a marriage enrichment session, okay, where we will share tools and information and tips and things of that nature that can help better and enrich our marriages and our relationships. Nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. And so we've had a great time sharing with those who have been a part of the marriage enrichment sessions. As I said, we have shared and they have too. Nobody knows everything, but everybody knows something. So ladies and gentlemen, saints and ain'ts, everybody, including Lottie Dottie, if you would like to be a part of the marriage enrichment session, make sure you stay tuned for the next date that goes live. All right. All right. So we'll leave that alone. Get on out your way. Retro's nifty 50/50 classic adventure, coast to coast, guys. Yeah. So this is what I'll be doing, celebrating my 50th year on earth. I will be 50 in December 13th. You can send all proceeds, gifts, and accolades, and bribes and whatever to no, I'm just kidding. But I'll be 50 December 13th, and so what I'm going to do, I won't be doing it in December, of course. We're going to do it in September. I'll hop on my 50-year-old motorcycle, 1975 Goldwing, and I'm going to ride on up to Maryland and pick up Route 50. And then I'm going to ride across Maryland, and I'm going to ride across D.C. and Virginia and West Virginia, Ohio, and I'm going to make my way all the way on over to California. Yep, California, guys. So if you are interested, and we have had some interest already, and so there's a QR code there on the screen right there, and you can scan that with your cellular device, and it will take you right to the page where you can sign up your level of participation. Of course, I'll be leaving from here in North Carolina, so maybe you say, well, Retro, I can't ride all the way across country with you, but I can ride you, out of North Carolina. Well, that's perfect. I'd love that. The camaraderie, the support, the company would be wonderful. And so as we cut across all these states, let's see here, I think it's 13 of them. You could choose which one you're going to meet me in and how many of them you're going to ride with me across. Shout out to the one and only Mr. K Solo in the building. He says, Retro, I'm riding it with you, man. I'm riding it with you. And so he's working on a classic. Initially, what I was stating was, hey, look, man, we want to get as many classic motorcycles to do this ride as possible. And so he is looking for a older motorcycle, 1980 and older, you know, somewhere in the 80s and older. But ultimately, if you don't have a classic bike and you still want to get out there with us, man, come on out there, man. We're not going to turn you around. Come on out there and ride with us, bro. But how neat it would be to see a whole bunch of classic motorcycles riding down the road together, enjoying the breeze, you know. So that's what we'll be doing, man. And we'll be talking a whole lot more about that. What I'm getting ready to do is I'm getting ready to start sharing the makeover for the motorcycle because it still has to be overhauled and everything. So you'll be seeing more and more footage of that as days and weeks go by. We'll be sharing that with you because that's part of the whole journey as well. It's not just the ride itself, but it's preparation for the ride and everything else that's going to make this thing as beautiful as it is. Shout out to Shaquila Bussey. She recently did this same route from Maryland all the way over to California on a 250 motorcycle, carbureted. And that's no easy feat. And so she did it and everything like that. And so she is also going to, matter of fact, I'm going to meet her at the Moto Mob. And then she's going to ride me on up to the beginning of the ride in Maryland. So, again, you can participate on your level. If you just want to ride along and say, hey, Retro, I ain't got no bike. I can't ride it. But I want to help you navigate. I want to help, well, fine. I'll send you my coordinates, my tracker, whatever. And you can help look out for weather for me. Because to ride the ride, watch the weather, watch this, watch that. It can be a little bit sometimes. We do it. But how much nicer it is when you're riding, focusing on your ride and staying focused, and then your people call in and be like, hey, Retro, I see you getting ready to enter into Ohio. They got a snowstorm, or not a snowstorm, a rainstorm that's getting ready to hit. So, blah, blah, blah. So there's so many different ways that you can be a part of this ride with me, and it will make my heart glad to know that, you guys are with me on this ride, okay? Retro's nifty 50/50 classic adventure going down in 2026. It's going to be a ride to remember, a classic ride to remember. So we will certainly, we welcome you and your mopeds, your scooters, whatever you got, man. Just come on and join on in with us. And we're going to make it do what it do. I got to give a shout out to my man, Eddie Bird, over there at LEDs and Bags, Weddington Road. I don't remember the exact address, but you can find him on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and so many other social media platforms. He's got all the color match parts and all the things that you need to get your motorcycle looking like his right there, okay? And we're going to be hitting him up, too, as we get our motorcycle ready for this ride. Because, again, he can get your parts. He can get your oil. He can get your filters. He can get your fluids and all that stuff. And so we've gone to him in the past for our motorcycle needs, and we will continue to do so because I believe heavily in supporting our brothers and sisters as best as we can. So, LEDs and Bags, you already know what it is, man. Make sure you tell them your boy Retro sent you. And with that said and done, ladies and gentlemen, I am out of here. As we would say, I'm outie 5,000. God bless you. Heaven smile on you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, information is powerful. Knowledge is power. And wisdom is just awesome. So what do you do with information? Hopefully it helped you in some shape, form, or fashion. If you are just tuning in, make sure you go ahead and hit the rewind, watch it from the beginning. And if something was said to bless you and something was said that you enjoyed, hit the share button. Let your folks know that sometimes, every now and then, once in a while, Retro will say something that's worth jotting down. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. God bless you and heaven smile on you.
I'll go where you want me to go, where you want me to go. Yes, sir. I'll be what you want me to be. Whatever you tell me to be, I'll be. I got faith in me. Yeah. I'll go where you want me to go. I'll go where you want me.